which is awesome for me. I'm absolutely. Me and Niles talk about this frequently. He's like,
how do you know he wouldn't want me?
Well, that makes our chances better because if I don't
we
work
have
out,
both here.
Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. I have a second option. We all benefit is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. No, we'll all be on that boat.
Yeah. Either way, we're all getting.
Quite literally.
We are all getting on the boat. Oh my gosh, this podcast is gonna be nuts.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Has
So-
anyone even said fuck?
No, you did.
Now you
Okay.
did.
Oh, slay. But no one else really says fuck?
Oh, wait. I thought you meant like on this podcast yet.
No.
We do. Sometimes
Every
I
now
get
and
the
then.
vibes from others that they might not swing that way.
Slay.
So I try and rein it in.
Love.
But in normal day-to-day, yes.
Oh my gosh. I feel like, well,
Pass.
every time I listen, I'm like, does anyone else say fuck? Or is it just like when you interview people?
I
I
think,
feel like everyone's so like, yeah.
I think a lot of people are
Oh.
nervous to be themselves for sure.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
And like people use it a lot as like a marketing kind of opportunity for themselves.
That's fair. My brand's really messy, so that's my plus
I
side.
definitely like it when people are more honest and open, but for sure,
Yeah.
some people you can tell they're like not giving you the full,
Mm,
you can feel it. They're like giving you just a nice answer.
I love that. My brand's so fucking messy, so I have nothing.
Yeah. It's okay. We get it.
Yeah.
We're on the more eclectic side also. I want to be known for being more like
Same.
not cookie cutter.
Yeah, well, I don't want them to be shocked when they come to my class and I'm like, what the fuck is up? And like in her podcast, she was like,
They're like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
Come to my cycling
this is not the
class.
bitch I signed up for. Oh my gosh.
That's so funny. Okay, so recapping. Well, this is the podcast. This is the Film Garage 208 podcast. I'm Sarah, and this is Daniel, and that's
Hello.
Jessie.
Oh, hey.
So we are doing our first 1 year follow-up.
am I your first recap?
Yeah, your
You are.
first 1 year recap.
Shut
I think.
up.
Yep.
So she's a live cycle
Oh, yeah. That's
here in
me.
Idaho Falls.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm,
If you haven't
mhm.
seen the first one, go watch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Learn all about her.
My
Yes.
first podcast that broke.
Broke the internet.
No, literally it did.
You're actually our most listened to podcast.
Hell yeah, I am.
Isn't that funny?
I-
On,
I expected nothing less. I'm just kidding.
on that note, after another year of business, what do you have to say to all the haters?
Oh my gosh. You don't want to. That's where I'm like, honestly, you know what's crazy though is I don't think I have a lot of haters. My only hater's 50 and lives in California. And she's going to love that line. But anyway, no, you know what? Honestly, it's so funny because I feel like the first year I expected more
You were nervous the first time
I
about
was-
people, like how they were going to
perceive me.
perceive you
Well,
because you
you
came
were
from
new
their
to
gym.
Idaho Falls. Well, back
Yes.
to Idaho Falls and like
Yes. And I'm just naturally an edgier, very vocal, very like, what's the right word? But I just am who I am. So I'm just controversial in that sense.
Honest.
Yeah. And so the first time I came, I feel like I was very controversial in the fitness community. Now I feel like I just have made my own brand.
Controversial in how you act or like what you do with your gym.
I think both.
Just being loud.
Yeah, like I'm very just I am who I am.
Uh-huh.
I like this is so dumb. Actually, my best friend came. She surprised me on my birthday, and she's also a cycle instructor. She was on the plane, and she's talking about how she's coming to meet her cycle
and
friend.
my mom was on that flight listening to this conversation.
Shut up. Yes, your mom was on this
Yeah,
flight.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Smallest
weird.
world. When you
Yeah,
fly to
small
Idaho
world.
Falls, you're gonna know like 20 people on that flight.
Right.
She's talking about like my gym, and the girl goes, "I've heard about your friend. She's like the edgy, like like the edgy gym." And I'm like, just because I say fuck does
edgy
not mean
gym.
I'm edgy. Like it's so funny, but like in Idaho Falls, as wild as that is, that's edgy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I've kind of built my own brand. So at this point, I don't give a shit. And so, but I'm like, it's like fun because also like, because I think I opened my gym that way, we've built the coolest community.
Totally.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
they're
all the people are
coolest.
here. Everyone's seeking that same
Yes.
community.
Yes. And it's given people to have a space where they know they can show up and be whoever they want to be.
Mhm.
And it's just like cultivated something really cool. Like, and everyone's so kind. Like, just because I'm like, I don't know, more honest and who I am. Doesn't mean I'm a jerk.
Of course.
But like everyone's just so kind.
Those
They're
are the
so
best
welcoming.
friends. The ones that are
Yes.
honest and can tell you the truth.
Yes.
Those are actually the true friends.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like our gym's just like everyone that comes, I think that's the main thing in all of our reviews or for like feedback. They're like, your gym's just so welcoming, so kind. Everyone's like, doesn't care where you came from, who you are, how you like, no one cares. And so, cause like they deal with me on a daily basis. So they're like, we've seen it all at this point. So yeah, the first years was been wild. I don't even know where to start.
Right? I'm trying to think.
Okay, so I guess let's just start with what are some of like the biggest upgrades that you've made to your business
Oh my
in the
gosh.
last year? Whether it's like back end stuff or
What the hell haven't I
Front
upgraded? Honestly.
Yeah.
Like that when you launch a business, you do it with like bones, like
'cause,
bare minimum.
So when we talked to you last year, you had your online booking system.
yes.
but-
How many instructors did you have?
oh.
It had to have been a handful.
Yeah, I mean
Did you have instructors?
Yeah, we did. I think I can't remember off the top of my head. I mean, we had a decent staff at the time. I mean, a few have come and gone, but we have a lot of OGs still from that original staff.
Okay.
Which I'm like,
Yeah, that's cool, especially starting a business when things are so like
Yeah.
Mhm.
up in the
I,
air.
I rope them in. I
Uh-huh.
rope them in hard. I'm like, I'm gonna pay you well. I give them like diary of these nice texts, which I never received as an employee. So I make sure to just shower them in all
Mhm.
the love.
Mhm.
So, but it's because they're amazing. Like truly, they're amazing. But yeah, we had in the beginning, like we've like revamped so many things. We have the same booking system because that shit's fire.
Mhm.
That booking system was
You
fire right off.
invested a lot in that in the beginning.
So much,
Yeah.
so much, like
Mhm.
3 to 4 months of development.
Mhm.
Okay, well, that's not true because I had like 2 seconds to get my business going. So it's probably 2 months of development, but I worked with a team that specializes in software booking for fitness.
Mhm.
So they like,
They know what
They
you
knew
need
all
to
the
do for
hurdles
that.
you'd face.
yeah,
and-
they can do it in 2 seconds. And so, but I mean, we've repainted our gym since then. We've like redone the space that way.
You got new bikes?
We got new bikes. Oh my gosh, I forgot
That's
about
big.
New
that.
bikes.
Yeah, we
'Cause
got
you were
new
like
bikes.
talking about that before, where you were like,
Mhm.
"Someone buy these bikes."
Yeah, bro, because those bikes were the freaking.
Did you
okay,
sell them?
We did. We sold most of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we held on to 3 for something that we're launching in like so soon.
Interesting.
But yeah, so we have the new bikes. They're fire. They're like the Cadillac of cycle bikes. I'm obsessed with them. We upgraded sound. I don't even know. Honestly, to be honest, when I honestly to be honest, I fucking hate myself sometimes. Anyway, but gosh,
Go on.
my
Honestly.
honestly, when I opened my business, I was like, if I am the same, like if it's been 3 months and I'm still in the same spot, then I'm not doing my job. So the first year, I was constantly finding ways to revamp, make things better, because I also like that first year so crucial for members. I didn't want them to join and be like, okay, well, this is it. I wanted my people to see that I was actively
Yeah.
improving and making a change all of the time.
Yeah.
Because then for them, they're like, oh man, like she's working. And then they want to be invested in that and they want to be a part of it and they want to stay because they want to see how it's going to evolve.
Yeah. They can see the
sure.
big picture.
Totally.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so I feel like honestly, my member retention is insane because of that. Because
That's
they're
great.
like, man, if
see
I
that
don't like
you're
this,
always
Jessie's going to
improving.
fix it.
Uh-huh.
Totally. Yeah. So I
True.
just never, my business is, if I always say too, like if you've been to a live and it's been 3 months, then you haven't been to a live because, oh my gosh.
It's like a whole
ch-
new world in there.
It's a whole new world. Even the way we teach, like halfway, was it, when did I go to my big training? It was probably April.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Because you just went to another one, but that was the
Mhm.
Pilates.
Yep, that was Pilates. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
there's an incredible cycle instructor. Her name's Christina Giroux. She's my Lord and Savior. I love her so much. Anyway, she does this master training and it's for like master instructors all around the world. I mean, Colombia, Mexico, like all across the US. Worldwide. She's
Interesting.
insane.
Huh.
Anyway, I paid a good little chunk of money to go to this training halfway through our 1 year and that
Yeah.
changed everything
Really?
about our studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the way we teach, the way I coach, everything there, like getting that master training with someone who's been in the industry for years and years, has a huge business, travels the world
Interesting.
coaching, like
So she was there
Yeah.
coaching you on how to coach properly in like
Mhm.
different styles or whatever.
yeah, like you take classes all weekend. She walks you through everything, like how to coach, music theology, like how to do a playlist. Cause like too, it's so funny because one thing I think that sets us apart is like my playlists are curated to always tell a story.
Sure.
So it's never like you're just gonna go and listen to some bops. Like my playlists are so intricate and so intentional. Like I don't coach people to just give them a workout. I coach people to change their life. And if I can figure out how to do that in 45 minutes, then I'm going to figure out how to do that in 45 minutes.
Music included.
Absolutely. I'm like, we're going to bop, but like.
But that it's impactful. Music can
totally.
be just as
it makes all the
impactful.
difference for sure.
Oh yeah. And the amount of people that walk away and they're like, that was a therapy session. Like that, I've never experienced a workout class like that. I'm like, yeah, because like anyone can, you know, get a workout in and make a change that way or whatever. But to me, if you're not emotionally growing and mentally growing, like there's no point.
Sure.
And so
it's mental.
100%.
Thing, like
working out is 98% a mental workout.
Yeah.
Like you're moving your body, but 98% of it is working through mental blocks. So anyway, yeah, it's been crazy. It's been so cool. We've been so blessed. It's grown so much.
So you brought that back. Did you immediately start doing like trainings with your
Yeah, how did you
coaches, or, like,
incorporate
how
all
did-
that
yeah.
knowledge into your team
I wanted to spend 3 months perfecting it myself because
Okay.
I had just attained
after you had gotten back?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
You attain so much knowledge. Like I need to figure out how to make it my own and what I took away and what I wanted to implement in my
Sure.
gyms, things I didn't want to implement. And I actually talked to Christina about it because I was like, how in the hell do I like take this back home? And
the
she's
main
like,
coach person.
yeah,
Oh,
she's
cool.
like, give it 3 months. Like anytime you learn something, don't just implement it right away. You need to trial run it for 90
makes
days
sense.
before you implement it. So
yeah.
that's exactly what I did. And then we train all our people that way. They go through a 6-week training actually.
Okay.
So it's kind of like you have to audition to get onto the training for you to even be considered as a coach. And then from there you go through a 6-week training and then you have to audition again and then to be passed to start coaching.
I
So yeah,
see.
it's a big, I don't
And
mess
they're
around.
getting that for free. So I mean,
Yes.
you paid for this knowledge once. and
100%.
just
Yeah.
cool that now you can pass this along to them.
That's true. That's
big
a good
deal.
point. That's like a bunch of great education that you're giving your
Yes.
employees if they join your team.
Totally. Well, I've always committed that I have to go. Like, it's really funny because, especially like in this area, people seek knowledge very locally, which is there's nothing wrong with that. But for me,
There's a lot of things wrong with that.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Honestly, let's be honest. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But for me, my goal isn't to be the best fitness coach in Idaho Falls. My goal is to be one of the best fitness coaches in the industry.
Sure.
Right? Yeah.
And I'm not going to achieve that by going to Utah. I
No.
mean, there's great coaches there, and I'm not saying there's nothing. I can learn something from everyone. I can learn something from going down the street and taking a class for sure. But if I want to be the best in the game, I have to surround myself with the best in the game. And so once a year, I do commit to paying a good amount of money to go and learning from the best in the industries.
Yeah.
And so, and I do that for my team because my coaches damn well are going to be one of the best in the industry. So I can't do that by myself.
Sure.
So as a business owner, like that's my commitment since I opened it. And I did do 2. I did 2 in the past year. I was supposed to do 1.
Trainings.
Thank God for Niles. Because that one took a lot of convincing. The second one I had to count as a Christmas present, to be honest. But so I've been able to travel and do 2 different ones this year.
Yeah.
I think I might go again to another one in February.
So do
But-
they offer
That's really
a
cool.
lot
It's
in
really good.
this like field? I guess there's a lot of
Yes.
things you can learn in the health or in like fitness industry
Totally.
field.
And it's very niche. Like in the cycle world, there's not a ton.
Okay.
We're very blessed that Christina does open her doors and teach the way she does because she's
I see.
the number one in the
Yeah.
industry. The girl doesn't have to do that.
Does she have her own gyms all around?
Yeah, so she
Yeah.
has one gym and then she travels to other studios.
Like she just trains now essentially.
Yeah.
That's a great job.
Oh,
That's like
100%.
like when we worked in retail, we had our like managers, like district managers and stuff that would come in and like coming into the places and like literally be like, you're doing this wrong, fix it.
Yes.
And it's like good having a third party kind of in a sense who
Totally.
knows what they're talking about
Totally.
to tell you what to do and you trust it.
Yes. Well, and
it's
you're
not,
surrounded.
You're not hurting
like,
my feelings. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And you're like, it's not even like, yes, I get to go see Christina, but I'm also surrounded by 20 or 30 of other instructors that came to the training that are the best.
dedicated and all that.
Like they're the best.
It's the kind of thing too, just you have to do to keep motivated.
Totally.
Especially if you're in a
Yes.
place like Idaho Falls.
Sure.
Like maybe if you're in a bigger city
Yeah.
where you have a lot more
Yeah.
competition, or I don't know. I don't even know what to do. Like,
I don't know.
either way, maybe no matter where you are, I think it's just
Yeah.
good to stay in your field and like always be learning.
Totally. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, even in Idaho Falls, I'm the only one in all of Eastern Idaho that does this. So
And like you said, like looking outside of Idaho Falls is so important because
Yeah.
there's so much more out there in the world. And if you just forget that when you live here,
People
it's
don't
easy
realize
to like keep your standards pretty low.
Yeah.
oh, 100%.
like they don't know what they don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And like standards here are like from
Pretty
low-key
bad
15, 20 years ago almost.
For certain things.
For a lot of things.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. That's, I think, what's
So-
so funny is people come to my studio. They're like, I've never seen anything like this. I'm like,
I'm like, this
yeah,
is modern for a
Which
big
is-
city. Like this
Absolutely.
would be like on
They're
every
everywhere.
corner.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Uh-huh.
so when I moved back, that was like my big thing. I was like, all of this stuff has been happening for like 30 years.
I think there's a lot of people from doing this podcast and things I've seen since being here that seem like they open businesses just for the intention of making money. Like that's really
Yes.
the goal, which obviously it's a business. That's what you want to do.
we
But
eventually would like to.
a lot
The
more
goal is
people
to
probably
make
do
money.
that like don't have I guess the passion for it to do it right.
Yes.
So if you open like a restaurant, but you don't have the passion for managing the people and making sure it's a
Yes.
positive environment, then like I feel like there's a lot of that around here where like that customer service piece is like missing where
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
people
passion
management or
or-
the customer service is the biggest ones.
Oh
People
my
management and
gosh.
customer service.
You guys, this
Uh-huh.
is like
just like all you're putting your focus
Yes.
into is
And those are our
improving
hugest,
that.
biggest things ever, like in retail and like where we worked in like a high volume retail
yeah.
was the customer service and our employee retention
Yes.
was the biggest focus. Like
well, and it's crazy because I actually that never clicked until you said it. But yeah,
Mhm.
the amount of people that I meet that are like, I saw this franchise and I think it'd be successful, so I opened it. And I'm like,
But do you love managing people? Do you love inspiring?
but then they close in
people?
what, 3 years?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
it's
they
so
were
crazy.
and they half-assed it while they were there.
Yes.
Like you walk in, it's just like like
Yes.
That's my biggest pet peeve is going into a place like as a manager in the past,
Yes.
seeing people just like talking behind the cash wrap or like
Yes.
fucking around where I'm like, you're gonna mess up my food that I just paid for. And I'm gonna be so
Absolutely.
freaking
it's like that
pissed.
attitude of
It's
like,
like,
I have a
ugh.
business, you should just come to me because I have one. Like that's not how it works
Yes.
anymore.
No, and
I'm
they'll
just not
just
about
they'll,
it.
they'll rely on like they're like, well, I'll collaborate and I'll do honest to God, I have not done very many collaborations at all since we've been open.
Mm-mm.
This is like technically supposed to be our slowest month, December, because it's the holidays, duh. This is the busiest I've ever been in my life.
That's great.
And you know what?
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
truly think it's because I have given, oh my gosh, I don't even want to get emotional, but the past year, I literally gave up time with my kids. I've given up my marriage. I see Niles like once a week and
Yeah.
it's lit. Don't get me wrong. And we like have, like, it's so fun.
Making sacrifices though.
Yeah. Like I've
Mhm.
sacrificed my health. Like I went into adrenal failure, like
Literally.
because I was so stressed and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
handle it. And I was operating at literally 0%. Like,
Mhm.
and I haven't earned a dime. Like
Right?
I have never taken home $1 from
Mhm.
my life because everything I've earned, I love it so much. And I love my people so much. And I love my
Mhm.
coaches. I've instead given raises
Mhm.
because they rightfully deserve that. And before I get paid, I'm going to make sure they're taken care of. I've reinvested back into revamping our gym,
Mhm.
expanding our gym, trainings. But like, if I was opening it for money, I very well could have probably figured it out how to take home a paycheck.
Yeah.
But
You would have bought cheaper bikes. You would have
absolutely.
spent less money on all the extra things that you're
Mhm.
doing that makes such a
Absolutely.
big difference
But
for
then
these
that
people.
would
Yeah.
Yeah.
translate to your customers that now you
Oh,
got
yeah.
like moderately shitty bikes and she kind of cares and like,
Yes.
you know,
When you can't half-ass it in an industry like this.
Yeah.
Because I am the product.
you are the product.
I am literally the product. They're not coming to get like a burger that I can make or something that I
Mm-hmm.
can, like do. They're coming for something that I can physically like exert, which is
Mhm.
like really overwhelming at times, especially when I was in adrenal failure.
Literally. though.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I'm like,
Knowing you had to like put that effort out,
totally. Yeah. And
that
I'm
all
like,
eyes on you.
all eyes on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Even your
All of the
trainers
time.
and then the clients and then
Mhm.
Yes.
everyone
Mhm.
always.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure and it's
Mhm.
24/7.
Because I'm sure if they're like, I'm sure if you look at a lot of other business owners, there'd probably be a lot who like physically like don't have to stay in physical shape. Like your
No.
job is hard because you're physically having to
putting
stay in
yourself
shape.
out there in front
It
of
controls
everybody.
my life.
Yeah, it's
So I have to love
it's
this.
24/7.
Yeah, because if I like this,
Like
sounds
you're physically working.
You can't go out
physically
partying on a
working.
night before,
well,
staying
yeah,
up
we
late.
talk about it because we
'cause
go get drinks.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, I'm like, I can only go get
Yeah.
drinks Saturday night.
That's gonna
because I don't
affect you.
teach or
Mhm.
work till later Sunday night. I mean, I go and I clean and I revamp the studio usually during the day on Sunday. But like, it's literally like a college athlete. Like, I have to hit my daily protein intake goal because I have to teach 12 classes this week. I have to drink my water. I can't drink soda. I literally save soda for Saturdays because I don't have to teach Sunday. Like, I can't drink. Like, I have like a very, and it's because if I'm compromised, so is my business.
Yeah.
And I take that so seriously.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing that I wasn't expecting when in our last
Like how much
podcast.
it was truly
Like,
on
I'm
your
like, this
back.
shit's gonna be so fun. La 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 la. And it broke me down to literally like my nub this year. And I feel like I'm finally in a place now where I am like rebuilding. I was also 6 weeks postpartum.
Literally.
Yeah.
Though.
I was like,
You're dealing with a lot.
I think I was literally 5 to 6 weeks postpartum when we did that.
You
You're
were.
crazy.
So
Yeah,
I remember
that
we did
was crazy.
your photo shoot and you're talking about that.
Yeah, I had a newborn with
And
me.
I was like,
Yeah,
why are you
yeah.
riding a bike right now?
Girl,
Yeah.
I don't know.
How?
I don't know how my vagina did that.
What are you
Truly.
doing?
You had bigger seats?
Truly. I don't know how she survived that. Props to her, birthed 2 kids and survived that. But honestly, like, that's probably like looking back at the past year. Something I didn't expect going into it is how much it would strip me, which I'm so grateful for because it made me such a better person and I needed that.
Yeah.
But damn, yeah. And I think it translates. Like, that's, I think, why people are so attracted to Alive is because they see me and they're like, Jessie, for 365 days raising 2 kids, one of them being a newborn, showed up, did trainings in a diaper. Like,
she's dedicated.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when I come here.
This is going to work.
Yeah. When I come here, I know that Jessie gave 180% of everything she had. And I'm very transparent. Like, there was a time where I was like, listen, guys, I'm going to try to do the best I can. I'm on a lot of medication right now. I'm in adrenal failure. And they're like, what are you doing here? And I'm like,
Everyone's like, you should go home.
yeah. And I'm like, I can't because I committed to this and I will die before
On this
before
bike
goes
right
down.
here.
No, literally. I'm like, if they expect a certain level of performance from me and when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something.
No, I get it.
So, and there's
Like, it's all you. Like,
think
you want them to
that's
show
really
up to the
important.
next class.
It's
Like,
really important as a business owner, though, like
Yeah.
to follow through with what you say you're going to do.
totally.
So I think customers see that. And if you say one thing and don't follow through, like people notice those things.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Like, they know, like, Jessie's like, I'll teach a class. I'm like, oh yeah, I was here. It's like at 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I left here at 1 a.m. last night. I was doing this, and this. And they're like,
I got 3 hours of sleep last
Yeah,
night, but I'm
jazzed.
through.
I'm jazzed. Like, I don't show up and I'm like, I'm so tired. They're
Yeah.
like, girl, are you good? I'm like, I had a cup of coffee. I'm ready to rumble. Like, I truly
Yeah.
love what I do, and it's changed my life, and I've seen it change. Like, the amount of people's lives that have been changed, and oh my gosh, I'm not even like, anyway, whatever. The amount of people's lives I've changed in the past year, I'm not even saying me, it's been my trainers and everyone else in that gym.
The community.
It's been humbling. Like, the amount of people that have been like, you've saved my life this year. I've never been consistent with anything in my life. This is the first time I felt seen. I felt loved.
It's so inspiring to work for someone who cares.
Well,
Oh,
just like
gosh.
even like go to be a part of just a community as a customer
Yes.
to
Oh yeah,
like
because
want to
everyone's our
show
best
up
friends.
every day.
Everyone's our best friend. Like, the minute they walk through the door, we're like, tell us the tea. What's your name? Like, tell us all of the things. And they feel
Yeah.
so loved and seen. Like, this sounds crazy. This is also probably why I was in a freaking having health problems, because I don't stop thinking about my people. Like, I will think and I'll be like, I haven't seen this person in 8 days. And I immediately
where
will
are
text
they?
them. And not even because I'm like, where are you? But I'm like, are you okay? Like, I'm always their friend and their person before I'm like a business owner.
Sure.
Like, I've never
Which is why people stay,
totally.
for sure.
It's
Yeah,
the human
totally.
aspect,
Like,
which
Yeah.
has gone out of like the 9 to 5 corporate America is the human aspect a little bit, where it's like they could give a shit, like if you feel sick or bad, like,
and I'm so human, it should be illegal. Like,
yeah,
I can't.
Like, I get it.
I
That's
did corporate
hard.
America. They fired me. Just kidding. They actually really liked me, but I got like 4 meetings for sure a year. But like, I'm just.
They forced you out slowly.
Yeah, totally. They're like, this chick's emails. I'm like, what the fuck is up? It's Monday morning.
Write her up
This is
again.
the lowdown. Yeah, honestly, I'm like, sorry. They're
Another
like,
one.
our accountant's a bishop, Jessie. I'm like, oh, sorry. Anyway, like that's like our business is so human, but like I think what's so beautiful is we're so human, but they see how hard we work and what we push through.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my head, like the amount of moms that have been like, I showed up throughout my whole pregnancy because I know you did, or I like showed up postpartum because I know you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm like, that opening my business at 6 weeks postpartum, I gained so much weight when I'm pregnant because I'm just so lucky. And it takes me years to get that shit off. And jumping on a bike freshly postpartum, like not feeling confident whatsoever, not in the best shape of my life.
It's so hard
because it's
just
hard
like mentally. It's just
mentally.
it's
You're
just
not
hard.
sleeping, like whatever. And I'm like, it was like, I'm not saying I showed up as as a beast or anything, but I showed up as a human being that really gave everything I had, and that changed people's lives. And I'm so grateful for that version of me because like now obviously I'm in really good shape and I'm, I can whip out a workout.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Do a thing or two.
It probably feels good now that it's getting easier and you're like on the other side a little bit.
You're like over the hill. I'm like, I can breathe. I mean, for like not very long, but I can breathe a little bit. But yeah, just like that version of me, the amount of people that have just say how much it's helped them. And I'm like, yeah, I just showed up as a real authentic human for 365 days. And it's been really, really, really cool. I'm like, 2025 is about to be the craziest year for Alive.
Yeah, so
I can feel it.
What's plans for Alive? What's going on?
Dude, what? I don't even know what isn't in store. I'm like so nervous, actually.
What are some of the new things that you've brought over this last year?
Over the past year, we've brought Pilates into our studio, Mat Pilates. It's fucking insane. Actually, my abs are very sore right now from Mat Pilates on Monday. I went to California. I got trained by one of the best instructors in the industry. She's got a studio of her own in Vegas and travels around the world, Australia, everywhere to teach these trainings. And my best friend in California actually is the one that talked me into it because I was like, no. And then she's like, please do it with me. And I was like, okay, fine. Anyway, it's hot Pilates. So there's not hot Pilates in Idaho Falls that I know of, like a true hot Pilates. And it's the hardest workout I've ever done in my life, but we introduced that into the past year and it's blown up.
How hot is the room?
Probably gets up to about 90 degrees.
Wow, that's pretty hot.
Yeah.
To be like working out in.
Yeah, we want to make it hotter. To be honest, the space we're in, we love it, but our goal is in 2 years to build our own.
Yeah.
And so to install like a true hefty duty heating system is like 10 grand.
Literally.
And that's hard to invest into a space where you're gonna probably
for real.
Yeah. So we installed heaters and stuff, but for our big like heating system, we're saving that kind of for like our newer space where we know.
So that's on the table, leaving.
Oh, literally, why doesn't he just build?
Whatever. I know we want one. We want to build. That would be amazing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, and two, it's like, one day. It's like one of those things where you're like, that's why
business
I'm like,
owner life.
I know. I'm like, we probably won't make
money. At least Niles has a job. Can that work for your 2 years of income to show?
For real. That probably helps a ton.
It does. And that's a lot of people are like, well, doesn't Niles like help you? I'm like, bitch, I wish. That motherfucker's nowhere to be found most of the day. No, he works. I mean, he owns his own company, 2 of them, which, And so anyway, he does excavation 40 to 50 hours a week. So Alive is literally me. They're like, what's your team? Who does your marketing? I'm like, I do my marketing, my accounting, my janitorial staff.
I heard, so it was the other day when we were with you. I'm not going to say anything else, but I remember someone said to you, they were like, where's Niles right now? And you were like, oh, he's at work. And then they made a comment being like, oh, I thought like you guys did this like full time.
Don't get me fucking started on
literally. That's my internal trigger as well. Where
as
I heard
a woman,
and I was just like,
We get it all the time.
Even for us, they're like, you do
Like,
this
wow,
full
you do this
time.
full-time?
They're
Like-
like, good for you.
Oh, yeah. They're like, this isn't your side hobby. You're like,
Uh-huh.
you think I would just do this for a hobby? That's fucking hilarious.
out.
No, so I heard
Yeah,
that.
Get out.
Literally.
You're like, actually, your appointment's canceled. You can leave
Yeah.
Like
right
you,
now.
you
Uh-huh.
responded nice. You were like, no, I wish. But I'm
Dude,
just like, oh,
That's
my
actually
God.
such a fucking trigger, especially as a woman business owner.
Yeah.
Because like with Niles, it's almost like they're like, oh, of course you like own a business. Like, of course you work.
Oh, like going off of this similar women and
Mhm.
male business owner thing was we had a conversation with a client who out of pocket.
Yeah.
Out of pocket. Where I was like, no, like you're not disrespecting me like that. That's actually crazy.
Ooh.
That's not okay. And so we're on the phone and literally he says, Sarah, I need you to get off the phone because I'm only talking to Daniel.
He's like,
shut the fuck
because
up.
it was on speakerphone, and he's
Literally.
like, I'm not doing this 3-way call. Sarah,
A 3-way call?
Sarah, I need you to get off the phone. Or
And I
something
was
like,
like,
that.
I'm literally the owner of this business. So no, I was like, I guess this conversation is done.
You're joking me.
Yeah.
I told him off. Yeah.
Yeah, but that we were like, we are not working together anymore.
I was like, Sarah is not going to
You-
get off this phone call. She is a business owner. She
Yeah.
owns this business.
What?
And then it ended
Yeah.
up, and then it ended just being like, I think we need to end
We
this.
were like, we aren't
this
working together.
business relationship.
It's such the amount of
It was just the
people-
audacity.
The
I just-
audacity.
I would never
Audacity.
approach someone the way that several times we've been approached. I'm sure
Oh,
you too, as a business
100%.
owner, you just
Mhm.
get some crazy.
Yes.
I don't know if they
As the years
realize
go
they're
on, you
not
get more and
being
more wild
rude or
things.
crazy.
I know,
Just
I've al-
customer service. People.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've only
I-
had to ban one person.
Oh, good. You've actually had to ban a person.
Ooh, what
yeah.
happened?
Flashed her titties to one of my instructors. I was like,
What?
don't
Like on a bike ride?
Bro, okay, so this was in the early days. When you're building classes,
Whoa.
class numbers are small.
Okay.
Okay, like sometimes you get one person.
Okay.
Right? We don't
Okay.
have that
You have,
anymore,
like-
really.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
back in the day when we're first starting, like we're just trying to get people in the door. Anyway, God bless my instructor, okay, because she handled this so gracefully. There was this chick, she's a little off the wall, a little crazy. Anyway, she goes, I got my boobs done in Mexico. Given they are the only 2 people in the studio right now.
Only 2 people in there.
Only 2 people in the
Uh-huh.
studio. She had never met this instructor ever. This was her first encounter.
Okay.
And she goes, no way, that's awesome. Like, I've
Like,
always looked
okay.
into Mexico. Like, that's sweet. Tell me about it. She goes, let me just show you. Flashes her bare tits to my instructor. And my instructor's like, oh, they look great. They look so good. So happy for you. And then had to proceed to teach that woman a 45-minute cycle class.
It's like, okay.
And she was like getting ready to show, she was like pulling down her pants. She's like, you know what? It's good. It's
What?
good.
What?
Crazy. And then proceeds to take one of my cycle classes and writes me the heftiest Instagram message about how I just was like swearing at her, telling her she wasn't good at cycle, all this stuff. I'm like, I've never said that to anyone in my life. What are you talking about? It was so random. Like I
Huh.
would never.
A little Delulu.
I'm not
Yeah.
a fitness instructor that shames people. I don't believe in
Yeah.
it. I don't give a shit if you had a Chick-fil-A milkshake before you came. I don't care if you sit on the bike and you just stare at me the whole time. If that's the vibe for the day, that's the fucking vibe for the day.
Yeah.
You go off. I
Mhm.
don't care. If you're
Mhm.
not hurting anyone, you're not like, great. Do your thing. Anyway, she writes me this message and I'm like, girly pop, I'm just going to cancel your membership. Like, I think we're good. You've already sexually harassed one instructor. And now I'm reading this message, which by the way, she should have used AI because I couldn't understand most of the message because there was so much grammatical error.
Weird.
It was the weirdest. That was the
Like
only
a drunk message or something.
Weird.
Maybe
it was
that's
like
what
a-
it was.
That's weird.
It was weird. That was the only person I've ever had been like,
That's weird.
this isn't working out.
Strange.
Yeah, but honestly, my members are the most respectful,
Yeah.
kindest.
It's an inclusive community.
Totally, they're so nice to me.
Mhm.
They don't have to be like. They've been nice to me at times. They don't have to be nice to me. They're so awesome.
Oh, is that our heater?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sarah's like,
We'll be okay.
I'm
Who
like,
is
that
that?
freaking ATV outside.
it's the literal heater. She's like, I can't believe that guy. He's just like, what? Yeah, it's been like I haven't had very many. I mean, we did have an experience. Oh my gosh. This is going to turn into tea of the last year because I've got plenty of it. The tea is piping.
Let it out.
the freaking. So I have this chiropractor.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You guys know about the chiropractor.
Yes.
A little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
God, this was my first hurdle in that first year, probably right after the podcast. And I did not think this would be a hurdle, but it sent me into tears for like weeks. Anyway,
I bet this. Yeah.
I should plug the man's business because anyway,
Shout out.
to no, just come to a live, go around the corner, you'll see exactly who he is. Anyway, this man, when they signed our contract, they knew exactly what was going in the cycling studio. We're gonna play music, no duh, Avi. We worked our hours around this man's practice. Okay.
Because you're only morning and like
evenings.
nighttime.
Yeah, early in the morning, but we
You're
get
not, like,
done by
midday
like 7
stuff.
a.m.
Yeah.
No, we only have like, no, we don't have any midday. The latest class we have is like 7:15. He doesn't start till 9.
He should be home by then.
Yeah, he doesn't start till 9, and then he's out of there by 5. We work around that.
Yeah.
He isn't supposed to work on Saturdays, but randomly does take in Saturday clients, which is not my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This man, the first month, would come into our classes and yell in the middle of class at our instructors, all of this crap, harassing our business. I had to call the cops
That's crazy.
to get a freaking like restrainment put on him so that if he
Wow.
entered our business, he'd be taken to jail because it was so fucking intense. He was like bitching about me all the time, and then he's like, "We're gonna meet with the landlord." I'm like, "Sick, love that. Please bring him in."
Yeah, literally.
Sounds like the best time.
Yeah.
God bless our landlord. Sweetest man I've ever met in my whole life. He's 90 years old. He brings me chocolates for Christmas. I love him. I would give a kidney for this man. Anyway, have this meeting. This
meeting with this.
with
Okay.
I just said his name. Maybe cut that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
anyway.
Uh-huh.
I get
Had a
canceled.
meeting with that guy.
Like, that's
Uh-huh.
my uncle. Anyway,
Like, screw your uncle.
your
Yeah.
uncle's the worst. Fix him. Anyway, canceled. We like get to this meeting. The landlord's not there yet. I walk in. Niles isn't there yet.
Where is the
And-
meeting point?
His office, and mind you, he's a sexist man. I'm gonna
Yes.
throw that out there right
Yeah,
now.
a
I'm not
typical this area.
Yes,
So
I'm
that's
not
what
a
you're
man
dealing
hater.
with?
I would
Yeah.
say I'm not a man hater. My man sperm gave me
But
2
the man
kids.
around here, I hate him.
Oh, okay. I gotta get comfy for this. Okay, so I'm fuming. So this man definitely gives like, he's like, you're like in your 20s, like blonde little girl. I'm gonna show.
He's
does
baby
he-
girling you.
Yeah.
100%. Little do you
Mhm.
know, does he know, I'm the
Mhm.
sassiest motherfucker
Literally,
you'll
I'm
ever
like,
come
try
across.
me.
Literally,
Try me.
I will wreck you with my words in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So this man immediately comes up. He goes, "I just want you to know you have like ruined my business and blah 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 blah. And we're gonna get this figured out today." I said, "That's so interesting because I'm doing everything in my contract, and I think we're actually gonna come to an agreement on my end today." Anyway, we have this big meeting. My landlord's like, "Bro, are you okay?" Because he's like, she's literally not doing anything wrong. And the thing he was upset about, Saturday morning at 9:30, we do a 45-minute class. Always have. He's like, "Well, sometimes I randomly decide I want to bring in clients that day on my off hours." And I was like, "Okay." So that sounds like a really big personal problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a you
Um,
problem.
Did you hear
right now.
yourself?
I was
Yeah.
like, I work my business around you 6 days out of the week, and you are upset that I'm here for 45 minutes.
In this
45
place, I pay a
minutes.
lot of money to be in.
Literally. And my landlord was like, bro, he's 90, so he didn't say bro.
Yeah.
But he was like, "I think you just are gonna have to work around her. Like,
Great.
give him your hours, and then like she's not bothering you." And oh,
Was he so pissed?
so pissed, steam out of the ears. He could not
Mhm.
believe this little blonde bitch just outdid him.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, which I think he has little man syndrome because his wife's hella successful, and I think he's just like
I
insecure.
mean, probably to be acting like that.
Oh,
it's so bizarre. It's a
100%.
weird reaction.
Yeah, like Niles
Yeah.
was ready to like come after this guy, and then he realized that I came after the guy, and he's like, "I'm actually just gonna sit here and let
Literally.
Jessie do
Did he
her
say
thing."
anything
literally.
after that happened?
No,
He
because
just
I
was-
told him. I was like, I didn't tell him when I called the cops and put the order on him. I can't remember exactly what the order was called, but anyway, I told him after I left that meeting. I said, "By the way, if you ever enter
Some type
my
of
studio,"
harassment.
yeah, I was like, "If
thing.
you ever enter my studio, even enter the premises or harass any of my instructors or any of my clients, you will be arrested on the spot." And he was like, "I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, bitch, I got that shit put on lock.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
try me, I beg of you, because I will sit with my popcorn as you're being put in handcuffs. That will be the best day of my life." So yeah, that was really fun.
That's so
That sucks. You had to go
hard.
to such an extent because it's like you don't want to have to do that.
No,
like,
well,
I
it's your
felt so
business.
stupid.
He's
Even
messing
calling the
with
cops,
you.
I'm like, this is so dumb.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's not dumb. I'm like, no, this is really dumb that I'm having to have a fight like this with a 50-year-old man.
Mhm.
Like, be so for real, grow up.
Mhm.
Literally.
Such a baby back bitch. But anyway,
Yeah, sounds
so
like it.
he really was. And I don't say that about many people, but I was like, grow up.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was like the only crazy thing I ever
That's
had.
pretty bad though. It could have escalated
No,
quickly.
that's
It
like-
sounds like he kind of
Oh.
came to like thank God your landlord kind of like,
Thank
helped.
God.
but
Yeah.
that
Love
could have
him.
gotten ugly.
It's just when they're like
Could've.
infringing on your business. That's when
Yeah.
I'm like, you're literally messing with my livelihood.
It's like
I'm
you
trying to
walking
put
right
food
in
on the
during a-
table.
When it was our first like month of opening,
Yeah.
like these people don't trust me. They haven't
Like, have
they
you said hi
barely-
to me yet? Hello?
Yeah, like they barely know me.
Yeah.
And then we have this random ass guy coming through the doors
Awkward.
yelling at and my poor instructors, excuse me.
Yeah.
I will protect those guys with my life.
Mhm.
Do not. So yeah, it was crazy. Well, I think it's too because we're young.
So
like,
this is
we're
the
young
main-
And
business
that's where
owners.
when you're like, no, and then they give in and they like change their mind. Like we've had,
Yes.
and that's where we're at now with him. Where anything that
so
happens,
that's how
is-
it kind of a similar
It just sucks that
I
you
can
have to go through
empathize.
that to get to like the seriousness.
100%.
Like, why do
because
I have to like?
Why'd I have to be a dick?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
why do you have to
Like,
make
I
me
don't
be
wanna
like
be.
that? Like you could
Yeah.
have just been cool from the get go. But
Literally.
but it's like when it actually hurts your business, like it hurts your soul. Cause so
Yes.
a couple, it was like 2 months ago, this unit, so we like really want to get this unit next to us now because of this reason. The
Ooh.
guys that are over there, not the loud ATV guys right now, the pallet guys.
Not the sugar daddy.
No.
Not the guy we're trying to finesse.
Moved in right here and they literally just fill the place up with pallets, like to the roof, knocking the walls. Like it's loud as shit in here. Like I literally was like crying. I was like, this is about to ruin our business.
Oh my gosh.
This is about to ruin us. Like, what?
What?
Yeah, I was,
Pallets?
yeah, pallets. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
I
truly don't know
can't
what the hell's
figure it
happening.
out.
A storage unit for pallets.
No, they're like bringing them in and like
Repairing them,
repairing them and then bringing them
Oh.
out.
but it was just super noisy,
It's
so we had to
loud
call
and-
our landlord, and he ended up.
Well, so I called him and
moving
I was
them.
like, hey, so I don't know like what you can do or not. I was like, but like the people next door are just like really loud.
Yeah.
And I was like, louder than I think they should be. And he kind
Yeah.
of played that little like baby girl, like
He called you like sweetheart or
he was
something
like,
like
sweetheart,
that. or-
you're in an industrial complex, so you need to understand that it's gonna be loud. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, I think I might have said something similar to like, okay, sweetheart, like something back where I was like, actually, I was like, I know we're in an industrial complex. I was like, all around us. I was like, you've got the people over there with their saws and shit. I'm like, it's loud all the time. I was like, I know. I was like, but I have a right in my complex to not have someone literally hitting my walls.
Yes.
And immediately he was like, okay.
It's so
and then I
weird.
came back and they got moved over there.
Slay.
So I was like, literally mental
But it
breakdown
took
for
the
the day.
being a bitch moment. Not even
Yeah,
not being a bitch,
not being
but
a
having
bitch,
to
but I
just
had to
like
defend myself as a woman,
Yes.
low key, of like,
Well, and
I'm
when
not
you're
stupid.
Yes, and when you're assertive as a woman, they're like, oh, she's a bitch.
Yeah,
And I'm like, interesting. But if my husband said the same thing, then
exactly.
like,
Exactly.
wow, what a respectful businessman.
So at the end of the day, he was
It's
cool.
resolved.
But
It's-
it just
it's
sucked that it
fine.
took that moment of like
yeah.
getting you rised up to
But not
say
necessarily
something back.
like,
and
Yes.
it's
Like,
just
why
like-
can't we just be adults
Uh-huh.
about
Yeah.
it?
like it's facts. Like this isn't a fighting issue. What are you talking
No.
about?
That's like,
right?
Like what are you talking
I
about?
just want my business to be kind of quiet.
no, literally.
I don't
like,
want someone over there just like banging on the door.
just wood pallets slamming against my wall.
Literally.
Because they would
It's
load him
so
in
weird.
with the
With that
forklift
the
too, so
forklift,
he
so
would
it's
like
like
drive it
beep,
in. It would like bang the
beep,
wall.
beep.
Oh, wow.
Low
That's
key,
like a
we were like, he
whole-
better
was a
not
whole
crack
ass
our
thing.
psych wall. Like,
it's like an operation.
No, I was like watching it one day, like
It
afraid it
is.
was gonna crack. Like I'm
I
like,
think it's a drug
the
front.
walls-
There's no way
Aw.
people buy that many pallets.
In that case, where are they located again? Are they right over
That's the other one. Sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy, drug lord. You guys have it made
very
over here.
convenient.
These are all of our good
Cul-de-sac.
theories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should get to know them and find out what they really do.
100%. All I'm hearing is hookups. That's all that's coming through my ears right now. I'm so shocked this has never come up before.
I know,
Honestly,
right?
No, it is wild. Like as a business owner, I think I didn't realize how much I'd have to like grow up hair.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have to grow up hair a
Yeah,
lot.
for
You
sure.
do. You have to have hard conversations with people that
Totally.
you.
Even like firing people and stuff. I was like,
Mhm.
dang.
Have you had to do that?
Yeah, I had to use AI.
You're like, make sure this
like to
sounds
write
proper.
your fire script.
I literally
You're
said-
fired.
I said, yo, AI, I need to fire someone. These are the premises. And they like wrote me a script and I was like, that's good. Make it nicer. And it's like, okay.
Perfect.
Copy and paste, baby. Copy and motherfucking paste. And I said, slay. Slay.
So
Nice.
I
did you
love
like say it out
2024.
loud, or did you just
Well,
send them an email to fire them?
actually, one thing I learned from Christina at my training, she's like, I do everything in writing.
Sure, document.
Yep. So she's like,
Mhm.
anytime I need to talk to anyone
That's
about
very
anything,
valid.
she's
So
like, I
valid.
always email it or whatever. So I have it in writing. And then I say, let's have an in-person conversation about it when I see you.
I like that.
Saved my ass so many times because
Mhm.
people be saying some
That's good
interesting
advice.
things.
They do.
Yeah.
That's
Because
really
then
good
it's
advice.
like when people try to say you did this, you're like, actually,
100%.
it's all right here.
Right.
So I do everything in writing. Everything.
Mhm.
And then I, formally, and then I always say, let's please have an in-person follow-up. Because also there's nothing worse than being blindsided in person.
I hate that.
Yeah, I've been through that a time or two.
Or
with-
they just do the vague message of like, let's meet up. And it's like, no, just tell me what the fuck we're
Absolutely.
saying. Like, stop doing that.
Absolutely. And I had a boss that would wreck me verbally all of the time.
Yeah.
And so I think I have trauma from that.
Yeah. Like, I'm not doing that to
Yeah.
someone else.
Uh-huh.
So-
And I'm like, I will never be also disrespectful with them. So I'm like, I always just kind of like write things out. And then
Mhm.
I'm like, I would love to talk about it, but also like, I want to give them time to figure out how to process and assess it as well.
I think that's a really good tactic.
Yeah, because
that's
I
really good.
hate being put on the spot. I
Mhm.
hate being put on the spot.
Yeah.
And I literally think I have trauma. So
And then like, yeah, if you don't know what you're like logically thinking.
yeah. And honestly,
Yeah.
our
So it's-
like
yeah.
Yeah.
being like going through like getting fired or like something like that is emotional.
For sure.
Like it's
tough conversation.
it's a tough conversation on both ends. Like it
Mhm.
sucks for me, but I understand it also really sucks for them.
Mhm.
And honestly, most of the time it's one of those things where they probably saw it coming. Like I'm not like jerk.
There should be a hint.
Most times,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
But and I haven't had to do this to very many people at all. Maybe one or two. And one of them was like mutual. Like she's like,
Yeah, let's go.
she's awesome. Actually, she's awesome. I love her still to this day. Anyway, so it's just I try to just be really respectful. But yeah, I do it all. Everything's in writing because I am not about to
Smart.
be.
Mhm.
I can't even remember where we were going with that.
I don't know, but that's a good tip.
Yeah, everything's
sure.
in writing.
As your business goes on and you just grow more and more and different
Hmm.
things can happen and
Just
yeah,
have to watch
having
your
it-
own back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cause I mean, and I don't want to act on emotion ever because
Because now it's like your business.
yes.
Mhm.
And the
It's- yeah.
fitness industry especially is just so tender. Cause like when you coach, you're giving your most vulnerable self
Mhm.
to these people. And so when that's criticized, it is hard to hear. And so I don't,
Sure.
I
It's like
really
a
don't.
personal attack.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I don't really criticize my instructors actually ever, if often. I'll usually be like, this was amazing because they're amazing. They're
Mhm.
amazing instructors. So half the time I'm like, I'm obsessed with you guys. I'm obsessed.
Mhm.
And so usually it's like, hey, loved everything. Let's tweak this one thing or let's fix this. And they're
Mhm.
like, okay, cool. Like they're
Mhm.
so mature about it.
Yeah.
Because
Which is important in an employee.
totally,
have
Mm-hmm.
totally.
Open communication and maturity.
Yeah. Because I think they also see how much I work on myself. And like I'm constantly
It's a group effort to work on ourselves. It's not a you thing,
Absolutely.
it's an us thing.
Or when they come to my classes, I will like text them or call them and be like, hey, what did you think of my class? What are some things that you think I could have worked on in that class?
Nice. Yeah.
So we have that mutual respect
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, yeah, I'm their boss, but I'm no better than them.
Sure.
Mhm.
And so they are just as like amazing as like I can be.
Yeah.
And so why shouldn't I have that mutual respect for their opinion as well? Because at the end of the day, they got to teach there too. And I want it to be a really well-oiled machine in that.
For sure.
to be
Right. And they might see
respectful.
things that you don't see or see things differently just
Totally.
from their
Exactly.
position.
Or
and-
they might want to do something a certain way
Or a tip,
and
or
it's
like,
insane
yeah.
and it's
Mhm.
such a good idea and I could learn from them.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
I mean, I got some really creative, amazing people on my team. So half the time they're like, I want to try this. I want to do this. I'm like, all right, let's
Do
send
it.
it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beautiful part about not being a franchise or not being like all these fitness franchises. They're under really
Let's check.
Yeah, they're under really strict rules and half the time they can't verge out of that.
That's
One
true.
thing that
That's a good point.
almost all. And so
Yeah.
one beautiful thing about Alive is I can do whatever I want. And I
Yeah.
think my instructors love that because if they
Mhm.
come to me with something, they're like, I really want to try this. I'm like, cool.
Yeah. No, that's really good. That's a good point.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Send it. If it's not gonna hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always in training. They're like, do I have to run my choreo by you? I'm like, no, I've taught you how to do that in a way that's safe and makes sense. Be creative. Like, you don't have to run shit by me unless you want to. Like, go for it.
That's why I hired you. Like, I don't need to worry about that. Like, you got it.
No, I'm like, that's why I trained you for 6
like, you got
weeks.
it. I don't need to
You got this.
do this mental
Like, you're
load.
going to make mistakes still.
Totally.
And
I'm
you'll
like,
learn from
I
it.
still
Yeah.
make mistakes.
Yeah.
Like,
Whatever.
every class, actually.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's been, that part's really, really, really cool because I think our instructors feel like they can breathe because they're like, I'm here to kind of learn and figure things out as well. And I'm not that boss that's going to like hover and whatever. I watch all of their classes.
You're always watching
But
for sure.
I'm always watching their
Just
classes.
choosing what to say.
Now that we're getting ready for our next part, I'm recording all of their classes, which as a boss is so fun. Because I just pop that shit on and I just it's like
time
Netflix.
to see what happens.
Yeah, and they crush it. Half the time my jaw's just on the ground because they're incredible, and I'm just like, wow.
That adds extra pressure. Like, it's gonna be like, all right, now I got to make sure that this is like good.
Yeah,
I'm putting on a good show today.
So
now
now people this year can join your classes from home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, starting hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
We keep saying it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Doing an on-demand platform so it's on demand, but also we stream live, so they can join our classes live.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's a whole beast.
that is a whole beast.
I was not expecting.
Yeah.
Which was like me walking into my first year. Like,
Now
like,
video
"Fuck, it'd be
production.
so cutesy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm balls deep now. I can't go back. I wish
Yeah.
I could, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, everything we do, and which once again, kind of, I think sets us apart from like a typical small business. Anything I do with, I partner with people who are pros in that industry. So like our software, I went to the biggest software brand that studios use across the world because I was like, I want this to be first class. I'm not going to cut corners.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist that way. It's kind of sucks. And then so when we did our on demand, I put this out there actually beginning of 2024. That was my 2024 goal. It's like, we're going to figure out how to go online because that's kind of the next step. Because like I said, as a fitness instructor,
more.
Yeah, as a fitness instructor, I want to be the best in Idaho Falls, obviously.
Yeah.
But I want to be the best in the industry, which means I need to figure out how to get on a bigger platform. I also need to figure out how to get in another stream of income. And anyway, that's where kind of and I went to, to Power and Flows, big training and all these things. And something I see in common across people that are very successful in all industries, not just fitness, they have some sort of online platform.
Sure.
Whether it's an online coaching, whether they're selling courses, whether they have a way to
like an online asset that you can just make some extra income off of.
And that's passive.
Yeah.
That you're not like having to put a ton of like extra work into. So when I was looking at on demand, I mean, I think I even talked to you guys about it. I'm like, I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to do this. Like, I don't know how to even begin.
Like the logistics of it, setting up a camera,
totally,
the lighting,
because it's like getting music and sound into the camera, having the camera, like also
so hard.
And then figuring out like I had to build a whole separate website,
like audio
for this,
inside,
apps.
audio on the screen. Like it's all different.
Yeah, it's a
very complex.
It's a beast.
Yeah,
and sound is so finicky. Sound is so finicky.
It's the worst.
Yeah, which I knew because I did sound production for 5 years. So I know sound, and I know that literally moving a dial like this can fuck everything up. So it's so sensitive on top of that. But Mariana Tech, the software company I use for everything, they also partner with a ton of different companies for that reason, so that you can like put on demand platforms into your software, all of that, right?
Yeah, they have the goodies set up already.
So when I was like finally at a point where I'd been messing with this or whatever, and I was like, okay, it's time to like full send. Niles was actually the one that was like, what are you waiting for? And I was like, I just finally feel like I'm breathing with Alive. And now I'm going to introduce this whole other beast that's about to take over my life. And he was like,
because it's pretty quick. Like
in 1 year.
Yeah.
What we've accomplished in 1 year is
yeah, it's a lot of things.
Right.
It's astronomical. It's insane. And so he's like, yeah, but like, what are you waiting for? And I'm like, damn, you're right. Because also recording meant painting our whole studio black, redoing all of our lighting. Like there was
the
so
laundry
much.
list of things now.
Yeah. Like we have to prep the space for filming. So we had to do all of that. And then I finally reached out to Mariana Tech. I'm like, do you guys have platforms that specialize in on-demand content, like companies that I can work with? Long story short, found this company out of New York. So they're like big dogs, big dogs. Anyway, got on a meeting with them, started getting all that set up. We had to build the website. So we have a whole separate website for our on-demand and live platform.
Yeah, that's
Apple apps, Android apps, TV, Apple TV, Roku app, everything. Because when I do this,
that's so much.
Yeah. Like at this point, when I launch this, I'm launching this on a global.
Wow.
On a global
I hope
scale.
it blows up. I hope it blows up on a global scale.
It will. Yeah, I'm excited.
That'd be great.
But like, what's so exciting is it's like when you open, like, you know, like when I opened in Idaho Falls, I was like, not everything has to be like pristine, right?
Sure.
It was really nice, but I wasn't as stressed. This one, I'm like, I'm getting eyes on me from all over the world.
And you don't have time to mess up.
I don't have time to mess up.
It has to be good from the start.
Yeah. So I feel back. So I'm like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. But every time I think I'm like, we got it, something, you know, and
just
that's okay.
Working through the kinks a little bit.
Yeah. But I'm like, I'm not going to launch this and have it not be damn near perfect.
Totally.
So yeah, we just barely got all of our like sound and everything figured out, streaming into the Cycle Studio. We are filming classes right now. We've been filming classes so we can have a library when it launches.
That's so cool.
And we'll have, oh my gosh. I mean, we're going to film most of our classes during the week. So you'll have at least 8 or so more classes.
All classes, just Cycle, or is it other types?
It's Cycle, it's Pilates, it's strength
Pilates
training,
cool.
it's yoga, it's everything.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure out the sound right now in our strength studio. That's the part that's being a little finicky right now. So we have to do some extra construction and cording there. But our Cycle studio is ready to go. So we've been filming and recording baking content there.
That's exciting.
But yeah, it's going to be crazy.
Since you're doing this on like a global scale and you're on these platforms,
Yeah.
how are you still able to get your personality across? And
Oh yeah.
do you have to worry about
No.
swearing or things like that?
God,
Like,
no.
Like they're here from me.
so you're allowed to
Absolutely.
still be you,
Oh, absolutely. It's
which is
it's
cool.
my business.
Because I think of like
Yeah.
a Peloton, like it's fun.
It's so
and
fun.
everything, but like they're
Maybe some standards.
your the way you would be in a class is different than what like Peloton would be, but in a, like a
Totally.
fun way.
Totally. I
So
mean,
like that would
Peloton's pretty
suck
unhinged.
if you were limited
Peloton
by.
actually can be pretty unhinged.
Yeah, Peloton's pretty unhinged.
Yeah.
Not gonna
Maybe
lie.
I just haven't heard the
Well,
right
you're in Cody
ones or-
Rigsby's class. He says some pretty
Yeah.
funny things.
That's true.
Yeah, Cody
That's
can
true.
be a
I guess I
little
don't really
unhinged.
totally limit it.
Yeah.
So that's good then.
But yeah, no, like the company I work with, they're not like a business partner. They just provide like the equipment platform and like the customer
abilities
24/7
to do
customer
it.
service stuff. So they kind of work for me in a way.
Because like if someone's coming to your app, they know what they're coming there for. Like
Totally.
it's
Fitness.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and like the
related stuff.
personality and like the,
Sure.
Yes. Like
if you're cussing at them, they're not going to be like, whoa.
they're
Like,
like, oh my gosh, I've never heard this before. No, if
Yeah.
you've been to my in-person class, you're fully aware.
that's why they're coming because they want to
Yeah.
hear the real you.
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah, because I want it to be fun and I want them to feel like they're out of life with us.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's really cool. Like they're going to have a way to track all their classes. There's going to be an online community built into the website and the app that you'll be able to converse with other people that are doing the on-demand.
Cool.
They'll have 2-way video. So you can put on your video. We'll be able to like see you
Oh,
and say
no.
hi.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you don't have
I'm like,
to.
no.
You don't have to,
Yeah.
but it's cool. Like you can also invite your friend. You guys can do a class together and like have both your cameras on,
That's
like
cute.
work out together online. Like there's so many features to this.
Yeah.
That's
it's
cool.
like very,
It's going to really help you expand.
yes,
That's
it's
really cool.
very, very well done. I spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
So it'll be really cool.
That's
I'm
exciting.
really excited.
Yeah.
It'll be a good New Year kickoff. But
Big
yeah, that'll
launch.
be our second baby.
Literally in a whole nother business, low key. Mixed
Yeah.
into this business.
Right though.
We had tons of listens on our last one. What was the drama with that?
Okay. I actually never thought I would talk about this because I'm not a controversial person in this way. I don't like drama. I don't really care for it.
Mhm.
I'm not a
Okay.
I know. On the low though, I'm like, tell me everything. I'm like, I'm so not dramatic.
I am
And then they're like,
not.
I'm going through this. I'm like, sit down. Let's talk about it. But I am very honest. I'm very honest.
Mhm.
And I don't ever want to like tear anyone down or whatever. But this just put me through the ringer. So here we go.
But like you didn't really say anything bad on
I
the
didn't.
last podcast.
Let's
you didn't say
talk about
anything
it.
bad on the last podcast.
Let's fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
So I can't believe I'm talking about this. When I worked in California,
yeah.
I worked for a gym and I'm really grateful for them. I'm gonna put that out there right now because they changed my life and I would not be doing what I am doing if it weren't for them.
Yeah. Baby steps.
Absolutely. So grateful for the instructors there. I've met my best friend in the world through there. She recently got let go from there and we can talk about that too. Ties into the story. But
It ties into the story.
Look
Sure
at all
does.
the drama you've caused.
All of the
All the
You
drama.
got
ripples.
her fired? You got your
caused.
friend fired?
Well, okay. So let's talk about it. I had this boss. She was not my favorite person in the entire world.
Sure.
Really caused me a lot of trauma, especially in the fitness industry.
Mhm.
And I think I'm still, like, me and my friend were just talking about this the other day. We feel like we're still overcoming that. I
Mhm.
was told I was too big
Mhm.
for the fitness industry. We had to look good in a sports
Or
bra.
just like mental kind of trauma.
Oh, mental trauma
Yeah.
out the yeah.
Interesting.
She would call me and wreck me frequently. She would call me when she was under the influence and be like trying to yell at me at 9:00 at night as I'm trying to put my kids to bed over
Weird.
nothing, really, over literally nothing. Crazy, just like unprofessional boundaries.
Yeah.
Crazy. Just not kind, and just caused me a lot of. She always told me I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
I was under a really weird thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
I talked about that in the last podcast
Yeah.
a little bit. Actually, not even to
You
that
you
extent.
just like kind of barely was just like I
talked about
yeah.
when she called me and wrecked me on Labor Day.
sure.
And I was very nice about it. And I was way nicer than I should have been about that situation, to be completely honest. And anyway, long story short, she did not like, even though I thanked her and told her how grateful I was for her, she did not like that I talked about that or put it in her light. And I mean,
If the
I
shoe
think
fits.
I'm like,
Yeah.
bitch, I don't know. Maybe it's time to
You're like, I didn't say a
self-reflect.
name.
No, should I? Just kidding. It's taking me everything in me not to. Anyway, caused just so much like mental trauma, truly. Like I still have, I think, body image issues as a fitness instructor from that moment and being told like
Yeah, just these crazy things.
just these crazy things.
Mhm.
Anyway, so when the podcast came out, I guess she listened to it and didn't like it. Shocker, I could care less. She got us hella views.
She listened to it.
She listened to it.
It's our top
I'm sure she
podcast.
listened to that. I'm sure she was half the views. And for that, thank you. Anyway, my friend,
It's
really
funny how
good,
that works. The people who hate on you the most or
literally, I'm like, put that shit on
Biggest
repeat.
fan.
Yeah, biggest fucking fan. Thank
Mhm.
you. My dear friend, she's an amazing instructor, insane classes, sold out all the time. Amazing instructor, amazing person. I love her with my heart and soul. Talk every day. Anyway, she was going through some things with this person. And to be honest, this person I did believe was very jealous. Very jealous. She did not love when people did better than she did. And this girl's killing it, right? Some stuff went down. Basically, my old boss did not love that she was still friends with me because I went on a podcast, quote unquote, and just ripped her to shreds, which is hilarious.
That she used the quote, ripped her to shreds.
Yeah. And my friend's like, what are you talking about? And this woman's talking about this podcast to everyone in her studio.
That's so funny.
Anyone that
That's
will
great.
listen.
Awesome.
Thank
The
you.
film
Hell
she's
yeah.
like, did you
Thank
use my ad?
you.
Did you use my ad? though?"
Seriously.
Did you follow? Did you
Literally.
subscribe to
Mind
show your
you-
support?
Mind you, these guys are in California. They're in California. They're not
I love
even
it.
in the vicinity.
That's like, and why would you care about anything anyone was doing in Idaho Falls if you're like a successful
Can we
person
talk
in
about
California?
it?
Like,
Can we talk about
you
it?
should be, you have so much more opportunity there. Like,
Multi-million-dollar gym, and she's worried about me
right?
in Idaho Falls, Idaho. You should be, bitch, because look. Anyway, so here we go. So she's like pissed off that she's even friends with me, and which is weird.
Yeah, it's like high school.
Literally,
Like you're not,
elementary
as a
school.
boss, like you're not allowed to like,
no.
say that. Like,
And my
You
friend,
need to be neutral.
like you
yeah,
can't,
my
Like,
friend's
very
like,
neutral.
okay, like I'm. And she also, my friend had my back and was like,
awkward.
you need to stop talking about her. Like,
Yeah.
I've been gone from there for years at this point. And my friend's like, you need to stop talking about her. Like, we've moved on. She's like claimed a bunch of shit about Alive. I'm like, girl, trust me, I did not steal anything you taught me. I amped it up and made it 20 times
Steal
better.
things you taught.
Oh, I'm like, you didn't teach me anything.
you taught me how to ride a bike.
Literally.
You know, like-
She's like, copyright. I'm like, okay. Anyway, whatever. So this thing blows up.
That's my move.
Literally, that's mine. It blows up. Okay. my friend ends up under fire for some reason, has to do with all of this, and it's a bunch of random stuff that makes no sense. I'm like reading the text. I'm like, what is she talking about? Is she doing this drunk again? Because that's what would happen.
Yeah. Like this is...
And my friend's like, bro, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so she ends up getting like let go, but she won't fire her because she doesn't want to pay unemployment. So she just makes your life miserable until you quit.
Yeah.
But also kind of like fired her in a way. Anyway.
Yeah. Push her out.
Sends out this email.
After firing her.
Mind you, this podcast has been out a year at this point.
Yeah.
We recorded this a year ago, you guys. It's long gone at this point. Sends out an email.
Wait, when did this email come out?
Oh, a couple months ago.
No shit.
Yeah. I'm still living rent free.
This is like mind. Living. Yeah, you are.
I'm living rent free.
Okay.
I've got a fucking mansion in
you
that
do.
bitch's
So
brain.
she'll definitely listen to this one.
What was the email?
I hope. The
oh
email.
my God. Yeah, she's going to.
At least repost
this
it
is
this
the
time.
very end of this. It's like it passed an hour.
Send another email.
Depth.
Please copy the clip.
Okay.
Anyway.
We'll make sure it's there.
She sends this email about me and my friend to all of her clients in her gym.
Just how many people? I mean,
to all of her clients in the gym.
What did the email read? What was the subject line?
Let me pull it up.
Yeah.
Just to like general everybody in the gym.
What was the clickbait that she wanted all her customers?
So it'd be like if you message
like,
your
bitch.
everybody.
It was insane, you guys.
Like FYI, Jessie's a bitch. What was the subject?
Bro, pretty much. I literally have to find it. I have to find
urgent.
Urgent. Everyone
hate Jessie.
Please read.
They're like, half of them are like, who?
Yeah,
literally.
Seriously.
Everyone's like, what are you talking about?
I got that message from a gym owner. I would be like, are you losing your shit
right now? Are you going crazy?
Can you believe that
she's about to lose customers over something like that?
Did she though?
Probably
not.
Probably. I was gonna look at her a little different. I would.
I mean, I do think sorry, I literally don't know how to work my phone anymore. Did anyone else's phone update and can't make sense of it?
I just keep thinking
like
of subject
photos?
lines.
Yeah.
The photos is crazy now.
I'm like, excuse me, where's my screenshot folder and why can't I find it anywhere?
Right.
Anyway, I can't find it now. I know I have it somewhere. Receipts. I'm petty.
I really want to know.
Receipts.
Do you remember it? You can just.
Yeah, I mean, I think I honestly slightly blocked it out. Not gonna lie, because it was a little bit traumatic.
Because it's just talking bad about you.
No, literally, she basically talks about my friend. I don't think she'll care. She told me to do this. She was like, we should. Anyway, my friend. She talks about all of her personal life, all of her drama, and people were starting to boycott going because they were ticked that she was let go because she's amazing. Anyway, so they start boycotting, getting upset, whatever. She sends out an email explaining all of the dirty details of what has happened with Brie for the past year.
What is dirty details?
I don't even know. She made up stuff. She literally made up stuff. Like
personal things or work things?
Personal and work.
Where it was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it was literally stupid stuff. Like, she is best friends with all these girls that hate me. I'm like, I don't hate you. I actually don't even think about you, to be honest. But anyway, so she's...
that's not a good look.
No, like, it was so random. And she's like, she said this to me. She did this to me. I'm like, that's crazy because I have the literal receipts right here from the screenshots of your guys' messages and none of that ever happened.
I just don't get why send an email to her customers.
To the entire population of customers. Like, that's very weird.
Let this be a...
what not to do in your business.
What not to do. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
That's so unprofessional and so fucking weird.
Like if
someone messed up like the wall and I'm going to be like, I'm going to message every single person and say, screw all of you.
Literally. Such boomer energy, honestly.
That's so weird.
Such boomer energy.
This is a business, not a like you punish all the kids because one kid did something wrong.
I'm not here to hang out. I'm not here to hang out with you.
So then she starts talking about the podcast.
In the email.
So
great.
Yeah.
Did she use our name?
No.
Did she say the Film Garage Duo podcast?
Fucking rude, honestly.
You need to at us next time.
At Film Garage.
Not cool.
Not cool. Not only were you petty, but you didn't give any of us clout.
Yeah.
I needed those views. And subscribers.
So literally, she goes into the podcast And she's
so
like,
funny.
Jessie goes onto she's using my name, by the way. Jesse's going onto the podcast talking poorly about me, and Bree's still friends with her. Could you imagine being 50-year-olds sending an email like this about a couple of 20-year-olds? One of them which lives across the country. She went on this podcast, talked poorly about me, yada, yada, yada. Jessie like has taken everything from here, blah. I don't even remember. Okay, this email though
She's
was
blaming everything on
long.
you for like.
When I say this paragraph, was paragraphs upon paragraphs. I'm like, first off, where's your legal team? Because you need someone to proofread
like
shit
defamation right now. What's
Yes.
happening?
Oh my gosh. So anyway, podcast starts blowing up again
Yeah.
because people are like, what is going on? And
They're like, what did she say if
Yeah.
it's so bad?
Oh, and I'm petty. So what did I do? Oh, I find the exact clip.
yeah,
that
you
we
shared
talked
it. I
about
saw
it.
you share
And
it.
I shared it to my Instagram story because I
Yeah.
said, interesting. Everything you're saying I said, I never said.
Yeah.
So let me just post the clip where I actually talked about it verbatim,
Yeah.
saying how grateful I was for you and how much you helped me and giving you praise. Never doing that again. So yeah, my petty ass
Kept
posted it.
receipts.
I kept receipts. I said, so this is because all the people from California still follow me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I hear you guys are needing a link to the podcast. I hear you got a giant email about it. Let me make your life easier. Click this link. The podcast
No, it
is
got a bunch
right
of
here.
views. I remember looking at it.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? Like, this
That's
one is
what
like
was going
spiking
on
right now.
Literally, I cannot wait because I know this podcast is about to live rent free in her brain for at least another 3 years.
I just still don't understand messaging everyone. Like when
No
I
one
was
can.
Going back
I'm
to
like
the
thinking when we-
logical business owner side.
I'm thinking when we were like store managers, like
Yes.
we get like your routinely weekly emails
Absolutely.
from corporate and stuff to look at. If I would have gotten one from our CEO, like bitching about her friend,
In
like,
which the case, no one works there anymore.
I would have been so confused.
We'd
We
all just be
all would have
like,
been like, "Did you
"What
see
is
that?
this?"
Like, what happened?"
about people that no longer work there.
Literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
No
not-
one's there
Not in a
anymore.
Yeah.
good way. I would have been like, "What is happening?"
Two of the people haven't been there in years.
If there was anything, like, because it was at Abercrombie and there'd be like sometimes things in the news with dramas currently,
Yeah.
they would just be like, it would be like a general blanketed, like, please, like, we aren't like that now if they're saying anything bad about us. Like, we are a respectful community.
Totally.
Like, we're inclusive, like, more like
be classy
backing
about
themselves
it.
up. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Be classy about it. And
Yeah.
also maybe own your shit and the fact that you gave most of us
That
an
they
eating
would
disorder.
also say that in there. They'd be like, yes, this was a part of the company in the past. However,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's just like it is weird to. You just can't control that part of someone else's life. Like,
No.
it's an emotional
It's
response.
Yeah,
weird. She
yeah.
does
Yeah.
everything very emotionally
Mhm.
or drunk. One of the two. Both of which are not a good mix. Yeah, it was very interesting for me because I kept very quiet the whole time and I never said anything. And I never thought I would. But to be honest, I'm also so over like people saying stuff about me and it not being true, which never happens. No one ever talks to me. I'm not that interesting.
Except for this one
Except for this
thing.
one girl that lives in, I'm not gonna say girl, she's 50. She's 50. Grow the
A grown
fuck
woman.
up.
Uh-huh.
Grown ass kids at this point. Anyway, she opened like a multi-million-dollar gym in California. And I was just like, God bless. I hope you pop off.
Do
queen.
you, girly?
I hope you pop off. But also, what in the world is going on? So yeah, my friend no longer works there. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Such a blessing to be away from that.
yeah,
But yeah, it's crazy. That podcast blew up because of that.
interesting.
So I said,
So that was
perfect.
the drama.
I said, I heard round 1 popped off so well. So round 2, let's talk about it for real, for real. Yeah, she
If you find the email, I really want to know what the subject line was.
Bro,
I'm just
I
so
am not
curious,
line.
like what she.
I seriously I don't know how to navigate my phone.
And to send 2, that's pretty. It's a lot.
That's so
Oh.
funny.
Wait, recently deleted. Literally, how does this work?
I don't know. I don't even know. I've been trying to figure out the other day. Like I'll screenshot
Screen?
something and immediately go to find it and it's not there.
Mhm.
I know. I'm like, it's
I don't
giving
know what's-
Android. I
What's
don't know
happening.
how.
So I'm
the
like, how do
hell-
we end this podcast?
I guess after
I
another year of
know.
business,
like
was your
trying to find the
advice
email.
change? That or any
Yeah,
new
what was your
advice? that you'd
advice
give?
last time? Like just do it. I think that was your advice.
Yeah,
last
just
time,
go
was
for
do
it. Little did Jessie know the shit she was about to go into.
So new advice.
New
for,
advice from someone that's now been through
from
the
this
ringer.
last year in business specifically, maybe.
Yeah, honestly, it's so funny because I mean, I talk about how challenging it's been, but it's been the best year of my entire life. Like business ownership, because it's so funny. I remember reaching out to another cycle gym and I was just like asking her for advice. She's in Utah. She's so sweet. They're called The Cure. I don't know where they're at in Utah, but anyway, really sweet ownership. And I remember reaching out to her and she was like, it's going to be like one of the hardest things you've ever done. And you know, when you hear that, you're like, yeah, like it's going to be hard, but like Slay, I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
Which I did kill it, but like, I don't think I mentally prepared.
At what cost?
I didn't realize how hard was. And I mean,
what hard was.
Yeah. Like I thought I knew hard.
Yeah.
I did not know hard. And I mean, it's probably different
and
too.
a hard that like never stops.
That
like,
never stops.
You don't get the break. Like, oh, it's hard. I'm going to take a break for 2 weeks.
I'm going to clock out of work and not care.
It's like, like it just keeps pushing you down when you're like already down.
I don't even get a full 24 hours ever.
Yeah.
You know,
right?
I haven't in now almost a little over a year, which is fine. Like I'm grateful. Like I'm so grateful. I would rather be so busy, and I'm so grateful people believe in me enough to stay around. Like I'm shocked every time I come to a sold out class, which is now happening weekly at this point.
That's awesome. That's
I
so
like
exciting.
show
Seriously.
up. I'm like, you guys still want to hang out with me? I'm like, you still want to hang out with me? Like it's never fully set in that people wanted to support me, which is like,
it's
and it's people
heartwarming.
that I didn't know. Like I never knew any of these guys. And it's so funny. All the people that I thought would support me, family, friends, half of them haven't even stepped into my gym.
Literally.
Everyone that has supported me is people that I did not know prior to this. And they're my family. I would give a kidney for almost all of them. And it's so humbling. Yeah, almost. There's a couple.
What's the phrase? Clients become friends faster than friends become clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so the past year, I think I went into it with a little bit of a like mystical lens, but it's like
you're naive. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know. And honestly, I feel like too, when you're opening a business, maybe it's different for people that have a staff that have like, a help CEO wise, they maybe have an accountant. I don't have any of that besides my instructors, which God bless them because they have helped me so much the past year on keeping things run smoothly. I couldn't have done it without them. But as far as like a business partner, I have Niles, which he's like my, kind of, but he pretty much just goes off of what I tell him because I'm the one fully in it. I'm the only CEO. I do all my own accounting. I do everything. I clean my studio. I teach 12 classes a week, whatever. And you think you can handle all of that, and then you go into it and your capacity definitely grows to where you can handle all of that. But the growth of growing your capacity is the hardest shit I've ever done in my entire life. I've never cried so much in my entire life. I've never been so broken down in my entire life. My health has never been so bad in my entire life. We're on the mend now. Things are really great now. But I mean, everything took a back burner.
Yeah.
My kids, my marriage, my health, everything. And I don't think I was mentally prepared for something like that. And maybe it's different for other people. My job's just so physical.
It's very physical.
So physical.
And like hard hours,
late nights, early mornings. But I just I feel like that 1 year marks makes the biggest difference.
Totally.
I feel like once you hit 1 year, if you can get through 1 year, you get into a flow and you understand things a little bit better now. You've learned how to not balance things because you'll never balance things, but you've learned how to kind of make your life work with both, that like there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like now where I'm at, I'm like, I could leave for a week like once a year, but I can leave for a week and know my business will be okay. And
that's huge.
Such a huge thing.
Yeah, it is.
And so like light comes, but light can't come until it gets really dark. And as a business owner, you have to go through some really darker than you've imagined times.
It's like there's reasons other people aren't doing this.
Oh, I tell Niles all the time, I'm like, if we didn't put every cent we owed into this, like if us quitting didn't mean like losing our house probably, I would have probably given up because it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I've missed.
Yeah, when you're all in, you're like,
when you're all in, you have
there's no choice.
That's actually probably one of the best things I did for my business because business ownership is so hard. If I hadn't given it every cent and everything that I had, it would have been so much easier to jump ship. And I almost couldn't have had a plan B. Like, this is my plan A. And if this doesn't work, I'm screwed. I don't have a plan B. Like, this has to work. And I'm kind of grateful I put myself in that position, because it forced me to discover and become a part of myself that didn't exist a year and a half ago.
Sure.
And I mean, you know, you don't have friends. That's like, there's so much. I'm like, I didn't realize I wouldn't have a social life. All my friends I had before, sorry, not to quote, because they were real friends. They were real friends. They're great people.
People just evolve and change. And
like, when you eventually you have to say no to all the dinners, all of the events, all the things. You can't be there for everything because you're working all of the time. And eventually you do kind of fizzle out of things, which is hard, not because you don't love them.
No, I get it.
But because you don't have time.
And the goal is to make that time one day. Like, hopefully 5-10 years from now, you'll be at that financial stability where you can reconnect with those friends and go on those trips. And
absolutely.
But it's like,
you gotta be okay with sacrificing all of it. You have to be okay with sacrificing all of it. And that's where, like, the money's not enough. Because if I was just doing this for money, I'd be like, fucking money's not enough.
Literally.
But
I thought that so many times. It's just like a hard week or something, or just things aren't going the best way you want, and you're like, what else could I be doing? Then you really think about it, and then you have those realizations of the day to day and what goes in it. And I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna make this work.
Well, especially like a brick and mortar business, like, you guys know, like, we have an actual space and like all this stuff. Like, it's a little bit different than like renting out a space or doing like a service or know, whatever.
It's
like,
different.
When you have a full on brick and mortar business, it is the hardest shit I've ever done in my entire life. And it's one of those things where it's like, it just all falls on you.
Right? Like, you have a bad month next month and you don't have rent, like, that's coming out of savings,
absolutely,
or your business is closing.
Like, absolutely,
there's no good option.
No, and you know what? Honestly, like, at the end of the day, God's been so good.
Fear is pretty motivational. Fear is pretty motivational.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, like, I'll say, like, our first year of business has been so blessed. You know, we haven't made anything, but we've never.
But you've grown so much. You've made a lot in the business, for sure.
We've grown so much. People have been so kind and supporting us. And with that, you know, we've never gone without. Yeah. We've never been in a spot where we're like, we can't make it. And that's so rare. It's so rare.
And like your first year.
In our first year. And I'm like, that had to have been a God thing, because I was underwater. I was like, that wasn't, I don't know. But
yeah, people showed up for you.
Oh my gosh, people showed up. People were so kind. And it was like the best year, but the hardest year of my entire life. But it's so weird, because if I could have seen where I could have been in 1 year, I would have been like, why am I freaking out? Holy shit. Why am I freaking out?
Yeah.
But in the moment, I mean, everything seems
That's
so
how
big.
It always is.
Everything seems so big.
It does.
But
when in retrospect, you look back and it's literally like steps on the stairs. Like, you're like, that's so far away now.
And you have to fail. You have to be, it had to be dark. I had to fail. My health had to take a plummet. All of that had to happen so that, like, I could be where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Because now when I teach, like, when I'm at 0% and my baseline, like, teaching level is insane, because I built that foundation and I taught through so much crap that, like, my body has muscle memory. Like, it knows
we can do it.
I can be throwing up and I will go up there and I'll teach the most fire 45-minute class you've ever seen, because I've programmed my brain and my body to be able to push through a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so business ownership has done that to me, but I will say, you cannot go into it if you're not ready to give it every ounce of everything you thought you've ever had.
Sure.
And so, and relationships, I've had to give up parts of my kid's childhood that, like, my kid can't really be in sports. I mean, he can, but at this young of an age where I have to be with him so much and I'll have to take him, I have to be there. It's not difficult. Plausible. It's not plausible. Will there be a day where he can? Absolutely. But, you know, there's sacrifices. There's so much sacrifice.
Totally.
But they'll respect that in the end too. Like,
absolutely.
That's not.
Oh, they're obsessed with a life. Like, Fox thinks he watches my on demands with me all the time. And but I want so cool. I want my kids to see that. Yeah. I want my kids to see, like, damn, mom really did that. And same with Niles. Like, same with Niles. Like, God bless Niles. I mean, he's had to be such a dad this year when I can't be mom all of the time. He's stepped in and been so important. So, like, that's another thing with, like, advice. Like, at home, if you have kids, especially young kids, having a supportive spouse. And I also supported everything I've put out there. And I mean, anything I've put out there, he's been like, I got it. I don't have to call him. I don't have to think like, did he tuck the kids in right? Yeah. I never have to even worry, which is such a blessing. And then like, it's so funny because the past year, it's like you've lost a lot of things, but like we've gained so much as well. Like, I mean, like we've made friends with you guys, which having friends that are also entrepreneurs, blessing. Because when anyone has to back out last minute, it's like we get it.
You go do you, boo.
We get it. We're like been there, done that, get it. And so like
sadly, but yes.
I know, literally. But Niles talks about it all the time. Like he's like, I'm so grateful for like Dan and Sarah because he's like, they just get it. Whereas like a lot of people, like we feel bad if like something happens with the business or we can't be there. And like when they're not entrepreneurs, they're just kind of like these people are flaky. Yeah. You're like, I'm not flaky. I just haven't fucking stopped in 3 weeks.
I just will be homeless if I don't do this.
Yeah, literally. Or like sometimes like we go ghost for like 3 weeks because we're working so much and we can't 100% do anything else. Right. And like some people would be like, oh my gosh, we haven't seen you. Like, is everything? You're like, actually, I just haven't even had a normal meal in like 3 weeks. I haven't breathed. But like, it's beautiful to have people in your life when you're in that phase of life that just full on get it.
For sure. It's important.
Yeah. So if you can surround yourself with people that get it and have a support system and then just realize your life's going to be hell for a hot sec.
Just accept it.
Just accept it.
Put your head down and just move forward.
Yeah. And nothing will not work if you don't quit. Yeah. The only time you don't succeed is if you give up.
Sure.
And I tell my class that all of the time. I say the only time that this starts not working or you decide to sit down and throw in the towel, that's when it's over. But nothing's over until you just stop getting up.
That's a good advice.
And so if you just keep getting up, something has to happen. Yeah. It's just the law of the universe. It's karma.
Yeah.
So that's just what I did the past year. Every time I was knocked down, every time I was like, I can't even get up right now to go teach this class. I was like,
bitch, get up.
Get up. Yeah. I was like,
well, I got it.
No, literally. I
literally have to.
At the end of the day, like if I just keep getting up, even when it's really hard, I can't lose. I might fail and have plummet a time or two, but I can't lose if I just keep showing back up.
Right. I saw a chart once that was like what people expect business to be like, and it was just a straight line from bottom to top. And it was like, no, it's a roller coaster. It's, you have up. As long as those peaks keep getting higher and those valleys keep getting a little shallower, then you're doing something right. Like,
and every time something's really bad, something always goes really good. I've learned.
I do notice that sometimes a little bit.
Like when I'm in my despair and I'm like, this
you
is
learn
the
most in the shitty times for sure.
Yes. Well, and it's even like,
which is annoying.
If it's sunny all the time, you have a desert.
Yeah.
Sure.
If it's sunny all the time, you have a desert. But if there's a little bit of rain, you have room for it to grow.
That's a good
I feel like we should sell t-shirts with all these quotes on
literally them. This is like
welcome to my cycle class.
Do you watch Jersey Shore, like Family Vacation?
No,
Shore,
I wish. I need to watch more
you
TV.
need to catch up with Jersey Shore.
Really?
Because that's all Mike does is he says like inspirational quotes.
I might.
So I'm like, you're literally Mike right now.
Yeah.
I'm Mike
like,
of Jersey
if you
Shore.
don't get up before they're pushing you down.
I know. Well, it's so funny because I mean,
Jessie Johnson.
No, I know. Jesse Johnson. I mean, that's like literally my cycle classes because I like.
You wear shirts with your own quotes on them, quoted with your name.
That would be iconic. That would be. Put that shit in an email. Why is this not in an email?
You should make that be your next one embroidered. Put that shit in an email.
Put that shit in an email, Jesse. It's so funny. A lot of my members do say that. They're like, you should put that on a t-shirt. And I'm like, we don't need everything I say on a t-shirt.
That's how you make some more money. Stream of revenue.
I know. Stream of revenue. I do love me some good merch.
Okay, we have to cut this off. We could talk for like 2 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Where can people go to take a life cycle class?
So we have a couple of options. If you have Instagram, highly recommend going to our Instagram. It's really fire. In the link in our bio on Instagram, there's there's links to our Apple app, Android app, and our website, which Dan has been revamping for us. Thank
Working on
God.
it. Yes.
Thank gosh, a blessing. Anyway, so you can get that there. We have an Apple app you can download for booking. I highly recommend Android app as well. And then our website, lifecyclingidahlfalls.com. We're on Facebook. Don't look at our Facebook. It's not very good.
Facebook is hard.
Facebook is hard.
I hate Facebook.
Ours is really bad too.
TikTok. We are on TikTok. Sorry, I keep hitting this. I'm so sorry. TikTok. I think it's just called a life cycle on TikTok, or TikTok's fire. We also have links there.
Okay.
Your first class is always $2 for $15, and then make sure your notifications, your emails email.
2 for $15.
Yeah, it's hella good. Our
That's a really
drop-in's
good deal,
24, so
Oh wow.
it's hella good.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Our memberships are awesome. They're always a great option. I always say if you work out 3 times a week, your membership is going to pay off. All our classes are very personalized. Our strength training is literally pretty much personal training. It's fire. Our people get crazy results, like mentally, physically, emotionally, crazy results. Anyway, so with that, we have that, and then make sure your notifications are turned on, and we give you a lot of offers right after that to help you ease into it and get started at a really good price. But yeah,
that's great. Okay,
it's really, really good.
So if you all made it this far,
we hired a business coach from New York, and anyway, she's helped streamline so much of that.
Well, thank you, whatever your name is.
I know, Alexa.
Alexa.
We love her. I need to plug her, but I don't remember her app, but she's amazing.
You have to plug your friend also, Chandler.
Chandler died.
He was going to defriend you.
He told us to lose his phone number if we didn't mention his name.
So Chandler, we love you. We stan you. I'm so grateful for all of our weekend nights and all of the TikToks.
You know what we mean.
You know what we mean. My son still can't get over the fact that he slept in his bed.
There's more to that story.
There's more. Fox was not in the bed. Fox was in our bed. Chandler was sleeping in Fox's bed.
To clarify.
Anyway, to clarify.
Back to a life cycle.
Okay. So if you made it this far, please like, subscribe, at us next time you share our podcast, please. I think that's it.
Please at all of us. A Life Cycle, Fitness.Jessie,
Say it with your
Film
chest.
Garage. Say it with your fucking chest. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And if the shoe fits,
wear that bitch. Lace that bitch up. Tight.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.